I'm going to show you how I organized my trunk. I tend to carry a lot of gear with me, but I also wanted to have it organized neatly. My goals were to have everything so that it could be pulled out relatively quickly so that I could access the spare tire, to not have loose items flying around the trunk, and to still have some usable trunk space for groceries and etc. So I'll show you what it's like. May still be making some slight changes, but this is more or less how I'm going to keep it. I always carry a spare pair of tennis shoes with me, and I figured out that by removing the old cover that was on my trunk lid, I had some room up here and I was able to tie the shoes to it. I've seen people coil rope in here. A lot of possibilities, just thinking a little bit outside the box. When you look inside the trunk, there's nothing too novel. Obviously it's relatively small, it's a Toyota Paseo, but I do have some room over here where I can set a couple bags of groceries. Now, like I mentioned, my spare tire is down under all this, so I wanted to be able to get it out pretty quickly. And the key to that is just not having loose items. I have 5 items in here. I carry my briefcase at all times. Right here I carry what I call my seasonal bag. During the winter I carry some extra winter gear. During the summer I'll probably put some more water bottles and sunscreen in it, things like that. Right here I carry my pretty intensive first aid kit that I've actually done a video on before. As always, I carry a toolbox. Now this has basic hand tools and things like that. No fluids, I store those somewhere else. I'm still going to show you. My hiking backpack with some personal necessities in it. And 1 bottle of antifreeze. This is the only thing that wouldn't fit where I stored my other fluids. So it didn't take me long to get that out at all. I could do it in under a minute. So that was really not a big deal. And the key is just not having loose items all over the place. So now, and I'm going to show you, I put the spare tire cover on incorrectly, intentionally, so that without removing any of this, I could reach down in here and pull up my oil, brake fluid, and those other fluids to make things easier. I'm going to go ahead and pull this carpet out entirely. And you see what I mean? I put the actual cover on improperly so that I could reach down in here and access those fluids without having to take it off. Fluids I used to keep in my toolbox and needed the room for other tools. So you can play around with how you put that on. I'm going to take this off and show you down inside of the spare tire well. In here I've got, of course, the spare tire. Down here I've got my fluids. I've got spare brake fluid, power steering fluid, oil. Over here on the left I've got my vehicle's jack, which I was able to wedge down in here where it would normally have set up front. Here's my tire changing tools, and I can store some things under the spare tire. However, they would be extremely difficult to get to, so I'm really not sure what I would put under there. But anyway, the idea in this, it's not brain science, it's just thinking about the things in your trunk. Everything has a place, everything has a purpose. Thinking outside the box on how to store some of them, and making sure that instead of loose items you have several kits that can be removed. Anyway, I hope I've given you some ideas.